Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be reviewing Big City Greens Season 2 Episode 5. This is the first half called Reckoning Ball, and later today I'll be doing the second half called Clubbed. And let's get started. First I want to say, because I usually say this but sometimes I don't. This first half and the second half, I have clips for both, so that's good because sometimes it doesn't show clips, so it's good that we have them. And second thing, I looked at the theme song again, and Andromeda technically isn't in it. It was like another purple person, so the theme song hasn't changed, so that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, okay. Anyway, so we first start with outside of Wholesome Foods, and this is what I would say is kind of like a plot episode. Stuff that deals with Chip and stuff that deals with like Big Coffee, I would maybe say is like plot or semi-plot episodes. Or maybe Chip stuff is plot episodes and Big Coffee's kind of like continuity. It's part of continuity. Yeah. Okay. So I guess you can say this is like the first plot episode. Yeah. Okay. So we first start with people protesting out of Wholesome Foods. It was like one person was like a woman. It's like, oh, close down Wholesome Foods. And remember the last time we saw Chip, it was what was it? It was at the end of the first half of season 1. And then we started the second half. It was Chip basically, saying, "Oh, you decimated an unarmed child. We're quitting, and we're not gonna shop here anymore." And then Chip ate those hot peppers, and he broke his tooth, and then he ran away. So now we could see him again. Perfect teeth, again. And then he grabs the time from the lady. The lady runs away, and he's like, "Okay, that's the sixth protester today, and I don't understand why." And I was like, "Chip, and he's like, "Oh, it's a video," and Chip's like, "No, it's not the video." Yeah, just remember when, and it says, "Oh, boycott Wholesome Foods," and he says, "Remember when you decimated that unarmed child, Cricket Green?" And you see the video from the episode. Chip's like, "Well, what? That's right, baby, Chip. Well, why aren't you chanting?" So, and then just like, that video was taken out of context, and he just threw that guy's phone, and he's, "Oh, Chip, my phone." So the fact that Chip says that, I don't know why people boycotting Wholesome Foods. Dude, you know why? So then that was kind of like, yeah, that was pointless of a line. But, and he's like, "Oh, you chipped my phone. Oh, kind of like your teeth when that kid is around." Oh, and then there's like a girl co-worker. It's like, "Oh, your name's a joke now." And then he's like, "Oh, you're all fired." And they just laugh at him. And he's supposed to be like he's not the CEO, he's the manager. I guess the manager can't fire people, at least at Wholesome Foods, because they're not taking shit seriously. Like, "Oh, yeah. And he just storms off into his office. And it's like, "Oh, this isn't my fault. It's the Greens' fault. Oh, those awful Greens. I'm gonna make them pay. I'm gonna run them out of Big City." And then you get Tilly doing like poses and stuff, kind of like charades, and it's like, "Oh, that's my impression of this," and then and Alice is like, "Oh yeah, you do you," and Cricket's clapping. Then Bill comes out, "Oh, who like a peanut butter ball?" And I want one. And then poof, and just like the title, it's called Reckoning Ball. And then she was like, "I'll take a wrecking ball, because I'm gonna destroy your farmhouse, and then you have to leave Big City. Goodbye, Greens." And Officer Keys just happens to show up. He's like, "Ooh," and I'm glad he's like kind of protecting the Greens. He's like, "Ooh," and I don't like this, because they're kind of, come on, Officer Keys, you can't be this dumb. He's like, "Oh, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure murder is illegal." Where would murder be legal? I don't know. That was kind of like, come on, Officer Keys. But obviously Chip doesn't want to hit the officer. He's wrecking the ball, damages the roof, and then damages the crane, and then Chip fell to the floor. He's like, oh no 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 no! Oh, he chipped his tooth, and there's also another pair of sunglasses that were like damaged on the floor. I guess he could have had two pairs in the crane. Yeah. Okay. And then we actually we hear someone's voice. Oh, Chip, like, and it's like, oh, is that like his dad or grandpa? And then we see it's that, and I said like what I wanted to see in season 2 for Big City Greens. Are we gonna see a family legacy in Wholesome Foods? Is it just Chip? Is it Chip and his mother, grandmother, grandfather, father, and turns out it's his father, and he is the CEO, so he's the head. And you know, it's like, and then Chip's like, Dad, you don't understand. These people hurt a business and my expensive perfect teeth. And then he's like, Chip, I don't know what to say. And it's like, Wholesome Foods needs to be family friendly, especially to farmers. And decimating a non-farmer boy with tomatoes that we're eating, they go in here. Like you know, he's pointing to his, like, his mouth and his stomach. Like, what happened to you? What happened to my boy? And he's this cute little baby Chip. And I was like, oh. And then she's like, oh, he got way hotter. I was like, oh, okay, jeez, Chip. And he's like, oh, Chip. And he even says, Chip, if you were like me, and he did farming like, if you did farming like me back in my, was it co-op days? You know, before he got, like, you know, the head of Wholesome Foods, you would know, you reap what you sow. Sell? You reap what you sell? Yeah. You reap what you sell, I think is what he says. And he's like, so he has experience, and he's like a good dude. Okay, so Chip's not like his dad. And he's like, I was planning on retiring soon. I was planning to leave you in charge because you're my son, and also you're the manager. But you backed me into a corner here, and it breaks his heart to do this. It's like, I'm sorry, you're out. And then you see Chip's like not paying attention until he said he's out, and he's like, what? And he's on the floor like crying. I was like, oh my goodness. But rewatching it, I was kind of like, you kind of understand, because this is all Chip has. This is his dad, and he's like, Dad, please, I'll do anything. Please keep me in the company, please, please. And then you see, you know, the dad has a heart, and I don't know his first name, but he's like, if you swear to me and promise me that you're really sorry for what you did to that family. And he's like, I'm really sorry. Not to me, to them. And I'm glad the dad's not dumb. He's like, oh, okay, here you go. You said you're sorry. No. He's like, it's just a forgiveness contract. He's like, oh, I guess Chip had to fill out one of these before. He's like, Dad, no, not another one of your forgiveness contracts. He's like, this is how Dad knows this is real. Get all the Greens to sign this, and then you're good. I guess, spoilers, I guess this doesn't include Nancy, because even though her last name is Green, she doesn't live in the house, so she doesn't count, which is fine, you know, it makes sense. But, what happens? And then, you know, and then just like, you got that, how hard can it be? Then we get to Bill, you know, trying to fix up the roof. And then, you know, like, Cricket's kind of helping out. He's like, oh, hey, Dad, you want to give me a try? He's like, I'm going to be honest with you, son. I don't trust you with a hammer. And then you have Chip there with still his chipped tooth. And he's like, hey, y'all, how's it going? And then Cricket, obviously, you know, he has a good point. He just freaks out. Just back here to finish what he started. Like, till he called the police, and then Chip's like, yeah, oh, okay, I'm right on it. I hope they send the dogs this time. And then Chip's like, whoa, calm down. I'm not here to start anything. And then before Chip finishes his sentence, Cricket just starts biting him. Oh my goodness. I was like, come on, Cricket, you didn't have to do that. And then Bill's like, ah, and then poof, Alice busts open the door and Bill falls. And then you know, and then and I just want to play this right here.
Let's see how well this bougie trash can tear up the house when he's got no hands.
He's like, oh, let's see how this bougie trash can attack the house with no hands. Dang, so Alice is gonna chop off his hands. And then she's like, no, I'm here to apologize. And Alice like, what? And he whoosh, like puts her sword in the dirt. And Tilly, the optimist, says, oh, that's so sweet, you want to do that. And then she even says, oh, it takes a big man to apologize. And that's why Papa is always apologizing for everything. And here comes Bill. Oh, sorry, what I missed. And Crick's like, Chip's here to apologize. supposedly. And he bites him one more time. Okay. And, you know, Cricket hides behind Grandma. Yeah, Alice. And Bill's like, oh, is that true? And then, oh, this is so awful, but it's in Chip's character. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Apparently putting a wrecking ball through your roof isn't considered appropriate. Oh, so yeah, so sorry. Look at Cricket and Alice's face. Can you believe this guy? Oh, so I hope we can grow as better people, yada, yada, yada. So you want to sign my forgiveness contract? Hey, we know we did a bad, so we wrote this to prove we are really, really sorry. We admit it. We goofed up. Hope it's all water under the bridge. Please don't sue us. I just find it too hilarious to take a point off. It's just too funny. And then Alice is like, you expect us to forgive you with that weak apology? Do a better one, coward. And then Cricket's like, you hurt the sweet lady. And Cricket's Indian Chip is like, I'm sorry. From the bottom of my heart and stuff. And Bill's like, yeesh. That was, until he's like quiet, and Alice is like pathetic. And then, you know, Cricket's like, basic Chip, you don't have a sincere bone in your body. And Cricket, you know, Chip's like, a sincere bone in my body. You're making fun of him. And Bill has a good idea. You know, it's a good idea. Chip, if you're truly sorry, you would repair the damages that you've done. That would make us even, right, family? Until he's the first one that nods, but Alice and Chip is like, and then Bill's like, right, family? And Alice and Cricket's like, yeah, okay. And then, you know, Chip's like, okay, so the deal is, if I fix the shack, he's so mean, then you sign my contract. And Bill's like, yeah, it's a deal. And then, you know, Chip's like, okay, fine, it's a deal. He just shakes his finger. Chip is such a douchebag. And, you know, and he's Cricket and Chips. And Bill's walking through Chip's the steps, and Cricket's like, oh, Chip doing manual labor, oh, so satisfying. Which, you know, he's a royal snob, so, you know. And look at Chip, he doesn't want to do this. And he's like, okay, Chip, I'm gonna walk you through the process. Pick up a panel. Yep, okay, good. And you put it down, put it in place. Okay, good. You say, oh, I'm over explaining things. You're a grown man. You know what you're doing. And he's like, oh. And Cricket's like, with me, he doesn't know how to use a hammer. And even to Bill's point, he's like, Cricket, stop being so harsh. He's trying. And then Chip's like, okay, next panel. You see he's sweating a little bit, so he's never done manual labor before. So I'm like, wow. And then it's just, I'm like, this is one nail. It's not even in properly. And Bill's like, hey son, when I build panels, I usually do it with more than one nail. Let's add some more. And then just like, it's fine. Let's move on. And Bill's like, it's not going to hold with one nail, which I believe is true. And just like, if you're so concerned, let me test it for you. And poof, poof, and he just lands in the carrot garden. And then Tilly and Alice, I really like this because Alice is a concerned grandma. He's like, oh, is everyone okay? And she's like, oh, it's just you. I don't care. And Tilly's like, okay, I guess I'm outside now. And then just like, I'm fine. I don't like to see it. He said, I land on some ugly flowers. You sell vegetables. And carrots like one of the most basic vegetables. That really annoyed me. And then Bill's like, you ruined my vegetable garden. You pulled out my carrots. This isn't even baby carrots. Look, a little weenie. Like, I don't know why he talked to the vegetable like that, but I guess he's talking like a little baby. And he's like, well, guess I had to-do list. And just like, to-do list? And Bill's like, yeah, you agreed to fix everything you broke, and you just caused more damage. And Chip's like, I just agreed to fix the roof. And I just had to play this. This is really funny. It's sad, but it's funny.
No. I just agreed to fix the roof, and then I'm driving myself to the nearest doctor to get a lobotomy performed on my brain, so I never have to think of this or you ever again. Well, that's a little extreme, Chip.
he's just like, I don't know what an lobotomy surgery is, but I guess it's something for a brain, for memory reversal. He's like, I just agreed to fix the roof. I'm going to the doctor to get an lobotomy surgery, so I don't have to remember this or you ever again. And Bill's like, that's a little extreme, Chip. And he's like, the deal was you were going to fix everything you broke. And Cricket's like, and if you were truly sorry, wouldn't you be happy to help? And Chip's like, oh, fine, whatever. Tell me what I have to do. And then you see the Chip, like, trying to do his best, planting back the carrots. And he's just looking at how much he's sweating. And Bill's like, hey Chip, how's it going? And he's like, oh yeah, it's great. And then he's like, oh hey, me and the family, to get work done faster, we sing a song in our hearts. And Greg's apartment, it's what we like to do, na 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 na. Until it's hard working too, na 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 na. All together now. And then just ignore them. And baby Cricket Carrot, you're not really sorry, na 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 na. And he's like, shut up. And all the other carrots are gonna say, you killed him, my brother, murderer. And he's like, ah. He was hallucinating the whole thing. Oh, that's so funny. And to get his hair wet. Animation error, but a second ago this wasn't covered in dirt, but yeah. And he's like, I guess he got exhausted. And Cricket's like, it's only been 10 minutes. And and she's like, ah. He's like, can I go now? And Bill's like, well, you haven't really fixed much, and while you're hallucinating, you buried the kids' bikes. Like, oh no. Oh, the continuity. Remember the bikes from, what was it called? Cheap Snake? No, they're not Cheap Snake. I'm sorry. Night Bill. Sorry, Night Bill. That's when Bill bought the bikes. So, oh cool. It's covered in dirt now, thanks to Chip. But that's cool continuity. In season 2, they still have the bikes. And then, we'll just add the bikes, to the list. And Chip's like, the list. The everlasting list. Oh my goodness. And he's like, fine. Why don't you add this to the list and this to the list? And then your ass comes out like, what's he doing? And Bill's like, Chip. And he's like, oh yeah, you keep on adding it up. But if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. And he's about to hit the vegetable garden. Alice like, no, he's not. And that pose, oh my goodness. And he landed. And Cricket's like, if Chip hasn't chipped his tooth, back then, he would have done it now. Okay, I'll just leave it right here. And then we have Chip waking up, and it's very sweet that they took him into his home. To their home. And he's like, was this filthy hovel? And I'm like, oh my goodness, Chip. And he's like, Bill's like, this is our home. Frozen peas. And he's like, oh, you want me to fix that too? It's part of the list. Oh, no. You can't fix peas. They're perfect the way they are. But it can, fix a bump to the noggin. And another continuity thing from the episode, what was it called? Cricket's Biscuits. When both, Cricket and Tilly, they were messing with the lawnmower and spraying mud everywhere, and they got damaged. And there were peas, and Bill's like, there's only one bag. So it kind of went to this episode, which is really funny. It's cool continuity. And he's like, oh, here. And then he's like, oh, well, thank you. And he's like, oh, that's very generous. And he's like, he's like, oh, I don't deserve your pity peas. And Alice is like, no, you don't. But that's how we treat people here. With common decency. And Tilly's like, we're just glad you're okay. And Chip's like, I'm not okay. My dad's going to be really upset with me. And Cricket's like, what? And Chip's kind of being honest here. And Cricket's like, what does your dad have to do with this? And he's like, he is the CEO of Wholesome Foods. Sorry. He's the one who wanted me to say sorry. And Cricket's kind of like, well, are you sorry? And he's like, no, yes, I don't know. And you can see Chip is very conflicted with his expressions and stuff. He's like, all I know is if I don't say sorry and I don't make it up to you, I'm out of the company. All I know is I mess everything up. And Bill's like, oh, Chip, I understand you. And Chip's like, how? You're poor. And it's like, oh my goodness, Chip. And then Bill's like, you can sass me all you want, but it's true. Like, so it's like what I'm telling my boy. Like, you know, and what I tell him every day. You reap the reward when you put into hard work. And then Chip's like, oh, that's what my dad always tells me. And Bill's like, it's not always easy, but when you put your heart and your soul and your hard work into it, you can get whatever you want in life. And Chip's kind of like, huh. And he kind of has a moment of reflection. I'm like, Chip redemption? He's like, Greens, I'm sorry for everything. You didn't deserve this. So I'm going to fix, you know, the bikes, the carrot garden, the roof, like the house, everything. Because it's what you deserve. And then Cricket signed the forgiveness contract. He's like, here you go. What? I haven't fixed your house yet. Or any stuff. I know, but Chip, the reason why I didn't want to sign this is because I believe that you couldn't make a sincere apology. But you proved me wrong. Until he's like, so we happy to sign this as a family. And Bill is ready to sign it. And Alice is kind of like, fine, I'll sign it. But everything, you fix everything you broke, bougie boy. And then your Chip's like, I can swing that. And poof, the sun catches on fire. That's how I'm also going. And Chip's like, and then, you know, and we get to, I guess, the retirement of Chip's father. He's like, you know, people say a lot of things about change, but no one's changed, I think, as much as my son. He's changed for the better. And welcome Chip Whistler, my son, the new CEO at Wholesome Foods. And you see his picture, and he's like, hey, he's wearing like a nice suit. Or was it the regular shirt? I think it might be the regular shirt. And then Chip's father finally retired. Chip is in a new suit, like, and he's in his dad's office. He's like, whoa, I can't believe this is finally mine. And the co-workers are kind of glad that Chip's in charge. He apologized to the family. He's like, oh, it's very nice that you did that. He's like, oh yeah, that was really nice to me. And then he says something like, now things are gonna change. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, time to, take in this trash. And I'm like, oh no, it was a trick. But I think this is kind of like a psychological thing, because when everyone's like taking like, there's like a little water fountain on Chip's dad's desk and stuff. He left a cactus there, but there's a little baby photo of him that Chip's father said, what happened to my boy? He grabbed the picture and placed it down. He didn't throw it out, but he placed it down kind of as, there's like a reflection of him being innocent. And it's a kind of reminder, you shouldn't be doing this. So he placed it down. I'm like, ooh, okay. So the genuine stuff was genuine, but the bigger part of him is like, you can use this to your advantage. So I'm like, oh no. And he's like, I need to get my private dentist. It's like, oh, okay. And he's like, I'm going for upgrade platinum. Ooh, okay, platinum tooth. He's like, I did the hard work. I'm reaping the reward. Now I'm finally going to use that reward to finally get rid of the greens out of big city. And he put like a frowny face on Cricket's face as an emoji. He's like, ha ha ha. And end the episode. Wow. I give this episode a 70%. This was a good episode. It could have been better. Just some things like Chip just not knowing what carrots are, even though he sells vegetables, and some things that Cricket does in this episode. It's not too much, but just that was kind of like annoying, and some animation errors also. But overall, this was a good episode. Solid C. And obviously Chip's gonna come back. He has this platinum tooth now, and he's gonna get the greens out of Big City. But now the greens think Chip is nice now. Is he gonna play a facade? Is he not? Who knows? But everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys later today for the second half of episode 5 called Clubbed. Alright, bye.